Okay.
You're now live on YouTube and Facebook. And you're live here, so you can talk to everybody in the background.
Which ultimately determines how intense this
And you're live over here.
Okay. Hey, IG family. We're just kind of waiting for people to come on board. This new system, I just need to get adapted to it. There's one person on the other platforms. So we're just waiting. Good morning. How are you? I don't know who's on yet to IG family, but I'm excited. It is April 23rd, 2020.
Allison's on.
Good morning, Allison. Good morning to you. Where does Allison live? Does she know? Do we know where Allison lives?
Sure. We got the first Tara is on.
The first Tara?
I don't know who that is.
I know who the first Tara is.
First Tara is on. Okay.
It's our family. It's our family from New Jersey.
Okay.
Ryan's Tara.
Oh, okay, got it.
Shay and Madison's mommy.
Got it.
That's the
Hey,
first Tara.
What's up, baby? And somebody named Beanie _Bina _B. I don't know who that is. Just can you type in what your real name is? Beanie _Bina. But anyway, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And on Facebook, is China's on already?
They can hear you on Facebook, can't see you.
They can hear me, but they can't see me? Okay. And April's on. My cousin April and China. Good morning, guys. Good morning. So you're ready to go? It's we got a couple minutes. Okay. All right. Well, guys, we're waiting for a little, a few more people to get on before we get started. But I'm so glad that you guys are on early. April's in California, so that means that April, you get up early because this is 10 o'clock here. So what is that? 7 o'clock? Yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning. You're an early riser. I'm kind of an early riser too.
Well, you've been trying.
Well,
You've been trying.
Yeah, no. Let me rephrase. I am not an early riser. I'm a late owl, but I've been trying to do a better job with that, with my routine. Actually, my hubby, Morgan, is an early riser, but he has very poor sleep hygiene. Very, very poor.
Sleep hygiene. That sounds funny. Sleep habit, not hygiene.
No, it's called sleep hygiene. That's the new name for it. It's called mental hygiene and sleep hygiene. Okay. Laugh out loud. She said, yes, it's 640 there. 640. Oh, wow. Sleep. Well, what I mean by sleep hygiene, guys, is like, do you go to bed with devices in your bed? Do you have the TV on? Do you have the light on? Are you on the couch? Do you have a whole bunch of other things in your bed? Like, that's what I mean by sleep hygiene. Not that you don't bathe. But nevertheless, April says, this is my quiet time before the kids wake up. Gotcha. Mommies have to do that before the day gets going. So I'm glad that you're joining your quiet time with me. Makes me feel connected to you, cousin. I miss you. Okay. All right.
We bring in a friend who we've known for years and years and years. He's an author, relationship therapist, Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson.
Some expert advice on how we can all talk to them. Joining us now is relationship expert Dr. R.G. Alan Wilson. She's the author of Courageous Conversations Connect. Good morning, R.G.
Doctor, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Janelle. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And as we mentioned, a lot of people just dealing with anxiety during all of this. What are your suggestions?
Some of the things that we need to remember is that this is temporary. This is temporary inconvenience for long-term gain. And as long as we stay healthy, Janelle, then everything else is recoverable.
Talk to your children about what's happening right now. What are the best ways to do that?
There's some do's and don'ts, right? So you want to tell them that you're going to be here. We're going to be okay. Kids want to know that they're secure and they're safe. So predictability, structure, and consistency. You also want to let them know you have a plan. And even if you don't have a plan, tell them that you're working on one, right?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, again. This is Dr. RG, and we're here for our Courageous Conversations Connect space, where we have our quarantine talks every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. And so it is April 23rd, 2020. Oh my goodness, this is our 23rd day, 23rd episode of doing this Courageous Conversations Connect space quarantine talks. And I can't believe it. And we're in our fifth week of quarantine here in Pennsylvania. It's the 6th week worldwide, or nationally at least. And we are learning how to turn lemons into lemonade. That's what we're trying to do. And so I thank you all for being here, April and China and Larissa and Gloria and Allison. I thank you all for being here and spending this time for me. Morgan and I do not take this lightly. So we're gonna break. Is that right, babe? We're gonna do a quick break from our sponsors. Oh, Kimmy's on too. Good morning, Kimmy. And then we'll come right back and we'll get into our breathing exercise and then our talk. Stay with me. Well, I'm back, and again, this is the Ask Dr. RG platform where we're actually doing our quarantine talks. If you guys can do me a favor and you can share, like this, give me the smiley faces, the thumbs up, that helps with the algorithms. Do your watch parties, let other people know that we're on and that we are having this space. She said, cause, Nicole, happy birthday. She says, happy birthday to Nicole. That's April. Yeah, she's 30. I said the other day, I said, welcome to the 30s, as if I'm 30. In my mind, I am, I think. Good morning, KD. We had a really wonderful conversation last night, so it was great talking to you. So listen, guys, make sure that you let other people know where we're at and what we're doing, and invite them to come over to this space. I'd love for tomorrow will be our last day for the week, and then we come back on Monday. So if you can invite 2 or 3 people to come over to this space at 10 o'clock to have this conversation, that would be awesome. Simply because this is our crew. We call this Connecting Relationships for Epic Wins, our crew. And this helps not only you, but this helps Morgan and I. This is where we get our positive energy. Go figure that this whole week, the topic is reset, right? And specifically today, we're talking about resetting your energy. So I want y'all to think about that. Kim said, yes, we did, right? Gloria's on. My grandson was 20 yesterday, and I feel as young as him. Awesome, Gloria. Congratulations and happy birthday to your grandson. Shout out to him. 20 is a great age. 20 is a wonderful age. So listen, when we're thinking about resetting our energy, I actually want you all to put in the text chat, both on IG as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Let me know what your energy level is. I want to kind of hear what your energy, if you can remember what your energy level was when you were beginning this process, and where your energy is now, because we might need to tweak it, reset the energy. I'll tell you what I mean, that a lot of us, when we think about our energy, We think it's all energy. The vibe that we're giving off, the vibration that we're giving off. If we have negative energy, that permeates the atmosphere. If we have positive energy, so I'm not talking just about your physical energy, but I want to hear about that too, because we're resetting our energy. So your physical energy, let's say, 1 would be not good, 10 would be energy on fleek. You've got a lot of physical energy. And then in reference to your emotional or your mental energy, what adjective can you use to describe what your energy is? Do you have a very positive energy? Do you have a negative energy? Are you giving off a angry energy, sad energy? Are you an optimist, so that you're giving off optimistic energy? What's your energy level? That's really, really important, because when our energy level is low, we know that something's going on. And when it's higher, right, we know that something else is going on. So we have the ability to create energy and move energy both throughout our body and throughout our minds. And we're going to start with that. As you all are thinking about that, y'all tell me what your energy level is. Is it high? Is it low? Are you frustrated? Right? That could be a frustrated energy level, right? Where you feel like I'm over this. That's why we're doing the reset this week. Because think about it. We have this opportunity. We're home, many of us, some are essential workers, but we have this opportunity to reset our energy, much more positive since listening in the mornings. Awesome, Gloria. This is what the goal is. It's really to set us up to have a successful and significant day and experience, and we can do this together. Overwhelmed. Tuni says her energy is overwhelmed. Understandable. Absolutely understandable that your energy may be overwhelmed, because this is overwhelming. Tawny, is it Tuni or Tawny? Tell me the phonetics of how it's Tawny. I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Technically, in IG family, tell me where your energy level is. We're going to do our breathing. That's where we start out. And the purpose of our breathing is to reset, in some ways, the atmosphere internally, right? And also to set the atmosphere externally. So you all know, and I want y'all to tell me who you're breathing for. As we move into our breathing exercise, who are you breathing for? What essential worker? Is it in your family that you have an essential worker out there putting their lives on the line? Shout out to the Black COVID Doctors Consortium that was at Penn Memorial yesterday, and they tested so many people. They're going out, I think, every other day. I believe on Friday they'll be at the Mount Airy Church of God in Christ testing. I believe that, but I'll get that information correct for you sometime today. So shout out to them. And as I said, Dr. Ayla Stanford, who's doing an amazing job, Pastor Marshall Mitchell, Pastor Alan E. Waller, our pastor, they're all doing an amazing job thinking about what they can do. And we can do this together, right? So who are you breathing for? We want to shout out to all those persons that are on the front lines. They're still working, right? They're still out there putting themselves in harm's way, whether they're truck drivers or doctors or nurses or grocery store workers or pharmacists or postal workers or bus drivers, flight attendants and gate agents. They're all putting themselves on the front lines for us. And we need to be able to breathe for them and send positive energy their way if we can. And then breathe in that oxygen for us, because those persons also that have come down with COVID, that are sick, those persons that are in the hospitals, they also are struggling to breathe. I specifically want to breathe for the Fuller family. The Fuller family is celebrating the life and legacy of their mother today. And my BFF Melissa as well. They are a very strong, close-knit family, and my very, very good friend Sharon Bea and her brother Vincent and the entire Fuller family. Morgan and I are breathing in oxygen for the Fuller family as they celebrate their mom, who has been an amazing mother, and they've been children that have really stepped up and made sure that she had a wonderful, blessed life, even throughout the duration of it and in the transition of it. We know that she is in a wonderful place now, and we want to breathe for her as well. Gloria says, Mount Airy is my home church. when I lived in Philadelphia. Awesome. Wow. My former nurses and postal co-workers is who Gloria is breathing for. And Kim says, low energy right now, working on positive changes. Excellent. Yes. So here's the thing, Kim. Here's the thing, guys. IG family, Facebook family, YouTube family, we have the power to shift our energy. It's all energy. It's all energy in our bodies, physically and mentally and emotionally and relationally. We cannot change anyone else. We absolutely cannot. We don't have that power, but we do have the power to change our energy, our life force, and our source. And sometimes when we're low energy, or sometimes when we really don't feel very positive, then we need to go deeper within the recesses of our heart, mind, body, and spirit and soul, and access that part of us that is connected to positive energy. Loretta says, I'm breathing for my pastor and all essential workers. Excellent. So let's get into our positions. Let's get into our posture, back straight, right? Middle finger and the thumb together. If you want to use that posture right now, you can also put your hands on your lap or to your side. And I want you to kind of move your body so that you can get in a relaxed position. April says, transforming energy. It's exciting and sometimes scary. It is, isn't it, April? But it is very exciting to know that we have that power. IG family, Facebook family, YouTube family, we have power. We have power beyond measure. We also have a source that we connect with that gives us that energy. So as we get into our positions, remember who you're breathing energy in for, who you're breathing oxygen in for. Remember that this is also a way to exercise the lung muscle, right? The lungs are muscle, and we want to get oxygen into that muscle. We want to build capacity for that oxygen to take the lungs to take in that oxygen, and also have it permeate through the rest of your body. So we're breathing in addition to the essential workers and the persons that are still sick, and maybe even for ourselves, we're breathing in a life force, such as joy and peace and serenity and happiness and contentment. We're breathing all of that in, and we're breathing out. I want to do it a little bit differently today. We're also breathing out for the other people that we're saying that we're breathing for. We're breathing out that joy and that love and that peace and that contentment. We're putting that in the atmosphere. So we're going to breathe in through our nose, hold it. I'll hold my hands up so that I can do it with you. 10 seconds, and then we'll breathe out through our mouth. Ready? Get in your positions, get relaxed. I'm going to count to 3, and then we're going to begin. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. And breathe out through the mouth. Long breath. Big breath in through the nose. And out. If you can't breathe in and hold it for 10, hold it for 5. Breathe in. And out. Good job. Breathe in. And out through the mouth. Last time, make it count, guys. Big breath, breathe in. And out. Good job. Good job. Guys, tell me how that felt, because it's all energy. Did you feel the oxygen filling into your lungs? Did you feel the energy going into your body? Did you feel your tummy filling up and expanding? Did you feel the energy shift? We're talking about an energy shift. And if you did, what did it feel like? Did it feel good? Did it feel bad? Was it a struggle to get to hold it for the 10 seconds? This is about building capacity. And as we build energy capacity, we build our ability to cope. We build our ability to connect. We build our ability to collaborate with one another, right? Whether it's the people in your household, whether it's the people in the social media or social platforms, we actually build our ability to create. How many people have gotten more creative, got more collaborative, connected more, right? How many people have realized that all the power that they thought was on the outside, that power is actually on the inside of them. And even in the midst of this crisis that we're experiencing, we have this power. We might not think we have it, but we do. And so I want to ask you, I felt a release. Tony said, I felt a release.
Oh, but I was pronounced
20. Thank you, 20. Okay.
TWAN.
20. Gotcha. So 20 said, I felt a release. Well, here's the thing, 20, and I'm glad you brought that up, because as we're talking about how we circulate energy throughout our body, our minds, our spirits, because we're all connected, we do need that release. Here's the real deal. I guess that, was it Gary Vee calls it the T? Here's the T, right? That the energy that's negative that is flowing throughout our body can build up pressure, and that can zap our energy. And as that pressure continues to build, we need a release valve. Every pressure point, I want you guys to remember this, every pressure point needs a relief valve. My husband often says pressure burst pipes. And that's true. Think about the pipes in your house. If there's too much pressure, they burst. The pipes or the tubing in your car, right? It's too much pressure and you spring a leak. The pressure in your body, when there's too much pressure, it builds up, and you either have two things that happen. You have an explosion. You're going to go off on somebody, the kids, the dog, the spouse, it's anyone. Or
that's like some experiment with what you did on Mel Robbins.
Yeah, and I'm going to post that actually today.
I believe it might be posted on the YouTube page.
Oh, it might be. So, or too much pressure internally causes an implosion. So I did this exercise on the Mel Robbins show, and I'll post that today because it just aired a couple of days ago, where we had these balloons, and one balloon we kept blowing it up and blowing it up and blowing it up. And it was to indicate that as you blow up hot air into the balloon, eventually it's going to pop and it's going to be an implosion, right? And then for this other balloon that we had, it just kind of stayed dormant, right? There was just this pressure that didn't go anywhere. It wasn't circulating. It wasn't growing. It wasn't decreasing. It just was feeling tight and heavy, right? And then we had another balloon that indicated that as you do things like this, as you journal, as you do your meditation, as you do your mindfulness, as you express how you're feeling, good, bad, or indifferent, as you listen to music. Remember the 4 M's that I forget who it was. Was it Megan that got it yesterday?
No, it was Karen.
She never sent the email. We were going to send her something. The 4 M's, the mindfulness, the meditation, the movement, moving your body, the meaningful engagement like what we're doing, and the music. All of that helps us to create a positive synergy. And then we continue to do that as a repetitive habitual nature, so that, quite frankly, it does become a habit. Larissa says, breathing seems to give me stamina. I notice my energy level is not as high as it was before sheltering in. True, right? True for many of us. That sheltering in place, think about it. We're up, we're moving around. We sometimes get exhausted, but we're moving throughout the day. Many of us have been kind of like a little bit on the hamster wheel before this COVID-19 pandemic and the quarantine or the sheltering in place. And now we have to find ways to move because our body needs the circulation. Can you imagine if there was no oxygen circulating? within our bodies. That's a problem, right? Houston, we have a problem. Or if there was no blood circulating through our blood vessels to various parts of our bodies, that's a problem too. Well, in order for that to happen, we have to move. We cannot stay stationary. So there's a problem with what we've been charged to do in terms of sheltering in place, because many of us have to work from home. Many of us are having a way too much screen time, right? Because after this, we might be working on the computer. We may have lots of office meetings on the computer, on various platforms. And what we do need to do is give ourselves station breaks, give ourselves opportunity to step back from it, to move our bodies, to create in our minds the messaging, right? I guess I want to introduce you to that term if you haven't heard it used in this way. Messaging is important. The question in terms of resetting your energy has a lot to do with what you're telling yourself. If you tell yourself you can't do it, guess what? You're right. If you tell yourself you can do it, guess what? You're right. So we're going to unpack that when we come back. And we're going to take just a moment for a station break for our sponsors. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Growing a business can be overwhelming. However, it doesn't have to be difficult. With the right resources, task becomes easier and the rewards are great. EasyMake Systems makes online marketing and business management less confusing and more affordable. We've placed all the necessary components to make your job easier. Our EasyMake website builder gives you the ability to create stunning websites or landing pages. Utilize our EasyMake Social to stay current with social media and our EasyMake Mail to drive more engagement through emails. How about creating 24/7 customer service with our EasyMake bots to be there whenever your customer needs to reach you? And more importantly, you can access all of our software on an easy-to-use dashboard that gives easy access from one location. EasyMake Systems is your single-source solution.
Life force, all that is really important. So we are back. And I thank you for taking that time out to listen to our sponsors. We've got some great sponsors in. We're moving into the dialogue about, not a monologue, a dialogue. So I want you all to engage with me in terms of not only your energy level. I want you to share, do your watch parties, let people know that we're here on this platform. And I want you all to engage in this, right? And so what's life force to you? Tell me in your chat. What is the energy force? If you have low energy, right, what are you doing to help yourself to elevate your energy? It's not just physical. Physical is a part of it, but it's mental, it's emotional, it's relational. I guarantee you, if you hang out with a whole bunch of people that are negative, even in cyberspace, even in your text chats or your FaceTimes or your Zoom conversations, if those persons are negative, then that's going to zap your energy. If you have what we call stinking thinking, if you have messaging, that was the word that I wanted to introduce you all to. What is your messaging? What are you telling yourself? If you tell yourself before the break, I said, if you tell yourself you can't do it, guess what? You're right. If you tell yourself you can do it, guess what? You're right. You're right either way, because it's the messaging that matters. Sorry, yeah, that's the sanitation workers. Shout out to them because they're essential workers and they're responsible. Have you even, just an aside, have any of you realized that we've gotten a real appreciation since 5 weeks ago for who's really an essential worker? And if you are out there when you have to go to the grocery store or the pharmacy, or even if someone's picking up your trash, do me a favor, say thank you. Say thank you. I appreciate that you're out here. People could boycott, they could not choose to not do this, but they're out there to make sure that our streets are cleaner, or that we do have our medication, or that we do have food on the counter of the grocery store shelves, that our truck drivers are making sure that all of the supplies, the supply chain is continuing to move. And can you imagine if that stopped? So we need to say thank you, and that we appreciate IG family, Facebook family, YouTube family. We appreciate that we get to stay in. For many of you that are watching this, it's a privilege to social distance. It's a privilege to have, the internet and be able to commune in this way. So and that's energy, that's life force. Let's not only give ourselves energy, but let's give other people energy. Billy J says, reminding myself and friends that this is not our final destination, just another chapter. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to unpack that for a minute. And Kim says, reading helps. Spending time with God is imperative. Absolutely. Definitely. Both of those things, the statements that BJ said, as well as Kim said, reminding ourselves that this is a temporary inconvenience for long-term gain. As I said a few weeks ago, that as long as we stay healthy and we stay here, everything else is recoverable. So we know that there will be fallout from the financial standpoint for some people. Economically, there will be a mental health fallout for some people in terms of the anxiety level that has elevated. And we have to take time out to help ourselves. Right. I think on BET, they had a wonderful concert last night. And I think it was entitled something like something about self, help yourself or something like that. As we help ourselves to be safe, we help each other. And then the life force, whatever our source is, for me, it's God, just like what Kim said, spending time with God, being still, taking a pause. Guess what? We have gotten a purposeful pause, as my friend Dieta says. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to use it to elevate your energy? Are you going to use it to speak life into others, not death? Are you going to use it to reset all of the ways in which you've been operating? Because I think if we would be honest with one another, IG family, Facebook, YouTube family, and share this, please. If we're honest with each other, most people weren't really living the lives that they were destined to live, that they were deserving of living. Many of us weren't living this abundance of all of these things that were available to us for free. Can you tell me for sure that before this crisis, that you had abundance of love and peace and serenity? Maybe you didn't have abundance of finances, but there's some stuff that's free out there. Breathing is free. There are ways in which we were operating that were not in alignment with our Creator that has brought us here on purpose for us to not only live in a life of abundance, but share in abundance. And as we share, it comes back to us. Kim says, your segments are amazing. Thanks, Kimmy. I appreciate it. And Marcia's on. Hey, Marcia, good morning. Good morning. Gwinetta's on. Good morning, Gwinnetta. Donna Matthews, 227 for life. That's so HU's in the house and Girls High's in the house. I appreciate the love. And so this is about this morning. We're having our quarantine talks and we're talking about energy. What energy level do you have? Where are you on your energy level? Is it very, very low? 1, 2, 3? Or is it very, very high? You got high energy, like maybe a 10 or over or 10 plus. That's your physical energy, but where's your emotional energy, right? Where's your mental energy? Where's your capacity to not just survive, but thrive? Because this reset that we've been given, which is why I entitled this whole week Reset, and then we're taking, sort of deconstructing different parts of that reset. And today we're talking about energy. It's really about the capacity of what we need to do to grow through this, not just go through this. It would be a shame, quite frankly, if we got to the other side, or when we get to the other side and we have no stories to tell. We have no testimony based on our test, right? That would be a shame. We should be leveling up and finding ways to reset based on where we were, where we're at now, and where we want to be. Nicole says, yes, this is a time of reflection to elevate what is really important. God has made us all have a seat. I agree, Nicole. He said, ma'am, sir, child, man, woman, and child, please have several seats. Sit down, be still, peace be still, and let's reset. And so I appreciate that. April says, gardening has been beautiful for me lately. Being in nature helps to regulate my energy and deepen my connection with God. Woo! I love that, April. And I haven't gotten to my gardening yet. That is my plan. So we are at April. I'm going to make a commitment. This is April 23rd. So going into May, I'm a little late because it's a little chilly this last couple of weeks here. But going into May, I'm going to get my flower beds together and start playing in the dirt. And maybe April, you and I can swap pictures and share our gardening creations. I'm not really at the place where I think I can plant some veggies yet, but I definitely can do flowers, and that just being able to be one with nature and be creative. Like I said, that energy, that life force. What is your life force? What gives you energy? Is it being still? Is it being peaceful? Is it connecting, right? There's a way in which we can connect with each other and collaborate with each other and create with each other that allows us to feel as one, right? Stronger together. There's a couple things that I wanted to share with you in terms of your energy, specifically your brain, retraining your brain. So if you actually begin to think about how your brain operates, when we're at the highest levels of stress is when the cortisol levels and the adrenaline levels are on fleek. And if we stay in that space, then our immune system drops, it's compromised. Our respiratory system is compromised. We're just not healthy. So doing that meditation is really, really important. Thinking about the behaviors that you exhibit on a regular basis and how those behaviors can either help, quite frankly, or hurt you. It's very, very important. I have my notes here. And then separating what you can control. I always say that. What is it that you can control? What is it that you can't control? Exploring ways to elevate your own toolkit. What does that look like for you? Physical exercise, of course, we know that's important too. And then taking action. I want to hear for all of you. April shared what her taking action was like in order to reframe her energy level, in order to start feeling better about herself. What's the action? What is the one action step that you've taken? Even Kimberly said, Kimmy said that she's reading, spending more time with God, scripture, things like that. What is your action? I need to be still and go deep and reset. Absolutely. That's an action step. In the book that I have, Courageous Conversations Connect, right? We talk about in every week, there is an action step that you take. I actually give you a call to action with action steps that you can take, because the truth is no one can change your energy level but you. You have the power. You and the Creator have the power to shift the atmosphere internally, which then sets the atmosphere externally. But it's about you making a decision. And the truth is, sometimes we don't make the right decisions. We have been so socialized to focus on IG family, Facebook family, YouTube family, and please share this. This is very, very important. We've been so socialized to focus on the external. We are very, very dependent and sometimes, quite frankly, codependent on whether or not we get validation, especially in social media, right? We kind of got addicted to the likes and the tweets and, all those responses. And so even my kids that I work with in the practice, oftentimes their self-esteem has gotten deflated when they're on social media and they're not getting the likes that everybody else is getting likes. What I'm saying to people is friend yourself. This is now a time for us to go deeper and more introspective and more reflective. Pause. We've already been put on pause, right? The world has come to a pause. We now have to be still. And it's a wonderful time to be self-exploratory. It's a wonderful time to reflect. It's a wonderful time to repent if you need to, engage in the artful gift of forgiveness if you need to, so that you can reset that energy, so that you can start pouring into yourself in a way that I like to call daring to have a love affair with you. What does that really look like when you dare to have a love affair with yourself? We know what it looks like if you've fallen in love with anyone. I know what it looks like because I fell in love with my husband. I'm still in love with my husband. Actually, I'm in love and in like with him. I like him a lot. I like who he is. He's opposite of me, very for sure, right? And I think he likes me most days. You know what he says? I always get transparent with you guys. I say these things that he says. He's like, in addition to me being an environment bully, and I haven't shared this one with you guys, he laughs at me. He says, "You're a funny bird. You're just a funny bird." And I am a funny bird. I actually like the whole concept of being able to fly. Like I like what birds are able to do that humans aren't able to do, which is like fly unless you're in an airplane. But the truth is that the reset for many of us is not the reset on the outside. You know, God has put us in this place, I believe, this is just my personal belief, to sit still, as Nicole said, have several seats, begin to reflect, begin to recalibrate, and then move that energy into the atmosphere in a positive way that really allows us to grow, allows us to be powerful, and allows us to be purposeful. Because we are here on purpose, right? There's birth, there's death, and there's the dash. And what is a shame is if some of us never live life while we're in it, right? It's not, if you lived a great life and you transition like, Mrs. Fuller, that's wonderful. But many of us, we've got now an opportunity to live our best life now. Gwinnetta says, great morning. My extent of gardening, 100% more than I looked 100% more than I took time to do before. Have even been covering them before they frost. Okay, so she's gardening. Great, Gwinnetta. So listen, for those of you who are gardeners, I do not say that I'm a gardener. I'm just experimenting, but I used to do it a lot. I want us to start sharing some pictures so that I want to see your garden, Gwinnetta. I want to see, April, your garden. And when I get my garden going, I'll share some pictures and we'll talk about that, because there's a lot of metaphor when it comes to gardening. Think about that, right? The metaphor of growing, creating, the metaphor of planting seeds. What seeds are you planting out there? What seeds are you planting inside of yourself? How are you then disseminating those seeds once they come to fruition? Are you growing and blossoming into a beautiful flower that then beautifies the atmosphere within your home or within your friend group or within your workplace or within your faith-based community? What energy, because life force is energy, and how are you expressing that in ways that are helpful to this planet? We're on a pause anyway. You might as well grow. If you're, and if you don't grow and you're only focused on we're stuck in the house, as I said, we're not stuck in the house, we're safe in the house. But if you're only focusing on the negative, then you can't appreciate the positive, right? And that's where the energy comes from. April said, sounds great. So I wanted to read this excerpt called Starting Over. It's from Iyanla Vanzant. In the meantime, I love all of her writings. Sorry. When I get this postnasal drip, it really sounds bad. So I try to spare you guys of that. And just this one excerpt, it says Starting Over, and it's from Cleaning Out the Closet. So what is it that you need to purge? What is it that you need to clean out internally in order to create that positive energy force? She says it is all rooted in the misunderstanding of and the belief in the lack of love. The issues and challenges we face in life, and particularly in our relationships, are created from our misunderstandings of the purpose of love, from the lack of love for ourselves, which ultimately determines how intensely we suppress parts of ourselves. The frightening part, the frightening part, the part we believe is unworthy, the part that has been rejected, abandoned, abused in the past, the energy that we suppress in the form of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs comes back at us with great force through people and experiences. We can mask ourselves and dress ourselves up or our issues up in any way we choose, but they will keep pounding at the door asking, what is it going to take for you to deal with this? What is it going to take to get you to deal with this part of me? I thought that was awesome, right? So I want to ask you guys, what is it going to take? We're already on a station break, right? We're already on a sheltering in place, a sort of staying at home posture. What will it take for you to deal with yourself? I know for me that it required me to be still, just like my niece Nicole said, have peace, serenity, sit still, take in all that is happening, take stock of all that has happened. Sometimes we do have to go back and reevaluate, where were we at? What were we doing prior to this shutdown? And how were we living our lives in ways that did not serve us? What kind of relationships did we have that did not serve us, where people actually were not feeding us? They were not supporting us. They were not affirming us, and asking ourselves, why were we in those relationships in the first place? What was it about ourselves that we weren't able to really love ourselves and like ourselves? So I want to ask you, as you think about generating more positive energy, are you willing? Are you able to embark on a journey of having a love affair? Dare to have a love affair with you on an every day, in every moment, in every way. Love you, all of you, so that the parts that you don't particularly like, you can work on and grow them, right? Develop them. And the parts that you actually love and like, you can embrace them and celebrate them. That is the goal, so that we embark on this journey, that when we grow through this and we get to the other side, we are a higher and better, more elaborate and more phenomenal version of ourselves than we've ever experienced in life. And guess what? If we then get to experience ourselves, the best version of ourselves, the highest version of ourselves, everyone else gets to experience us too. And that will be a blessing. Billy Joe says, wow, can you take a picture and share what you just read? Yes, I will. I will take a picture and I will put that on Facebook and on IG so that you can read that. And because it is very, very powerful. I love Iyanla. So for those of you who are really thinking through where you're at, what you're doing, how you're doing it, how you're leveling up, I encourage you. This platform is to encourage you to elevate your energy, to move forward with a higher version of yourself, so you come back out of this thing and we can create, we can collaborate, and we can connect. That's all I got for you guys. We're going to take the quick break and we are going to come back and rock out.
Are you sometimes feeling out of sync and you don't know why? Do you ever feel like you just need to talk with someone about your circumstances? Dr. RG has provided professional therapy to thousands of individuals, families, and couples just like you. No longer do you have to believe there is nothing you can do. Having a therapist and coach to help you process what you feel is what you need. Dr. RG is known for working with marriages and couples to develop the skills to have courageous conversation and incredible transformation in their lives. Schedule an appointment today. Call 215-789-6999. Dr. RG is healing families one relationship at a time and transforming relationships one courageous conversation at a time. Schedule your appointment today.
All right, we're back, guys, and Nicole is on. Gwinnetta said thank you. Nicole said thanks. After 2 moves, I don't think I could find my book even if I tried. Oh my goodness, so I will definitely post it. And thanks for joining, Nicole. How's your beautiful little girl? Prayers and love to you and peace for your family. I pray that you guys are safe. I pray that everyone is safe. And I thank you for joining us, for hanging out with us this morning in our Courageous Conversations Connect space, where we have our quarantine talks. I want you guys to tune in tomorrow at 10 o'clock so we can rock this out and share this with everyone so that even if they can't watch it in real time, that they are able to glean from it on our platforms of YouTube. And if you haven't done it, go over to YouTube, subscribe to our Ask Dr. RG YouTube page, hit the notification buttons. We're going to have more really, really good information for you. All right. So have a wonderful day. Have a peaceful day. Enjoy the day and continue to reset your energy. We love you. There's nothing you can do about that. Have a beautiful day on purpose, from my heart to yours.